best scoreline out of the bunch. So
that's really interesting because, you know, Fnatic CT side is a team that people used to make videos about their demos, like Roland and JW around the A toilets and so on. So we're
some innovative boosts too, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we're a long way from that at the moment, but maybe this is where they start to recover. They will be on the CT side as Mousesports execute on this B bomb site. Roland able to get a flashbang from his teammate, but no kills with it. There are a lot of people here for Fnatic, and they need to deliver some kills, and they'll do exactly that. Crim's looking for a third one on the reload now as Dexter's around the pillar, but Crims gets that extra kill. Chiquinho to finish off the job. Fnatic take the pistol. They lost both pistols in this first map, so this is already an improvement.
Yeah, that's a good grace considering, and you know, how big of a deficit in the prior map. You think winning a pistol, maybe cleaning up the anti-ecos, this is the only way that maybe Fnatic can you know, put up a convincing scoreline and make this a competitive map. And, you know, right there, they're ready for a monster pop. Mousesports came through, utilities there, a nice counter flash, even gets foiled. Brolin gets nothing for his troubles over there at Monster, and yet his teammates back him up. The crossfires are solid, and suddenly Fnatic 1-0 taking the pistol here on Overpass.
A light spy from Mousesports. A Desert Eagle or two. Really is a hand cannon, that thing.
Yeah, and I think, you know, on these kinds of rounds, not really necessary to invest a ton, especially when we haven't seen Fnatic in a while. You know, you want to feel out how they're going to handle these anti-ecos, see what their setups are like, find anything exploitable.
Triple MP9 and 2 rifles for Fnatic. Dexter going fishing with the Desert Eagle. Mousesports looking to close the distance as best they can, I would imagine. The pop flash, and Crims will see some assailants on the way. We'll see Brian's position up long, pretty forward with the AUG. If Mousesports go long with numbers, that could be interesting. But of course, they are going to concentrate their efforts. That's a great Kobe from Dexter, taking Chiquinho out of the sky. And it's happening again. The pistols are prevailing, and all the rifles are falling. JW and Golden left with MP9s eating a massive flashbang. That Deagle shot really felt like a slam dunk, you know?
Yeah, and he collects 3 for his troubles as well. Dexter on fire right now, man. This whole series, he's been lighting up the scoreboard in map 2.
There's no Kevlar for these players. The MP9s could do something, but there are so many angles being held by Mousesports that they've got to give up an AUG, a FAMAS, and an MP9, and the second round. Again, from a T perspective, it's often better to win the second than the first because it puts the loss bonus in the bin. It sets them back even further, the CT side.
Yeah, you can feel the pain on Fnatic right now. Golden, JW so badly wanted to press up there through jump up, and instead, you know, Acor, he does fall to the bomb, but does get that JW frag in hand, which means only 1 player survives. That's Golden, and yeah, despite the fact that, you know, the T's are rolling into the site essentially with no armor and very little utility to begin with, Dexter, just off of pure raw mechanical ability, opens things up with just a tremendous frag. And honestly, I think it was, you know, the player at Truck just had nobody to crossfire with at that point, stuck all on his lonesome. It's really a tough spot to be in, and so Fnatic, after a triumphant pistol round victory, fall into the depths of, you know, I would say an economic depression for the next round or two, and so they'll force back into it. Some Deagles, a little bit of armor, and Mousesports will tread with caution into this anti-eco of their own.
AWP in the 3rd round for Acor.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. Interesting.
It's going to have to be the hard way for Fnatic, it seems. Completely takes the value away from winning the pistol. Mousesports won their consecutive rounds on either side, if I remember correctly. Fnatic have not been able to do that. Smoke up by the toilets. And Chiquinho will fall back somewhat. You can see JW towards the B bomb site here. He's got the remaining smoke for Fnatic. Time is low. There's reasonable info for Fnatic to maybe concentrate on the A bomb site here. Golden's going to have a look towards Monster. Some jiggle peeking I can see on the radar. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw 4 players towards this A bomb site. 40 seconds left. Mousesports have no map control towards B. So surely it's an A play from Fnatic's perspective. Looks like Golden starting to back up with the MP9 now. Great range, punishing the peaks once again. There are some counter flashes to delay. Crims needs some help here. I don't think he'll get any time soon. Maybe from Golden with the MP9. In fact, the bomb spin drops now, and time is an issue, but the headshots are a bigger issue for Fnatic, and the round will go the way of Mousesports with 4 alive.
Just very cautious, disciplined play from Mousesports. Nobody's leaving the side of their teammate. Just ensuring that all angles are covered and any kind of pop flash plays are foiled. And whatever they're long, I mean, that was Acor. I was questioning perhaps the early op purchase from Flowerpot, just holding that angle, saving his teammates essentially. And I mean, from there, it's just cascading dominoes as Fnatic fall one after another. And, you know, it was a light buy, kind of a force considering they had been ecoed on round 2. But just USPs and 1 deagle on Golden is all they can speak for in here in round 4. And it's already, James, it's already shaping up, at least in my eyes, to be a potential runaway train situation for Mousesports and their economy here as Dexter continues to farm.
It's really scary how much Fnatic have been punished for just the basic information peaks. And I think that AWP is going to be real important for Fnatic once they come into their buys to try and control that somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, even on Inferno, they really didn't get their feet underneath them at CT side until Yaquinho had that op in hand, and I wonder whether or not that should have been priority number 1, save for it, just maybe bide the time when it comes to economy. And Mousesports, I mean, just these walk peaks, these info peaks, as you mentioned, just constantly getting punished. Fnatic feels strangled, I'm sure. As Mousesports walk into another easy round here. Golden 1v4. There are some weakened players on Mousesports, but that would be a tall ask to even recover a weapon at this point.
I love how disciplined they are. Even in a 4 versus 1, they're not sloppy. They're not charging in. They're being very careful and respectful to their opponent. And that's how you need to play consistently, make less mistakes over time. Well, this is a chance, just as Golden's walking around here looking for anything he can find, it's a chance for Fnatic to discuss the way forward.
And I think that probably is attributed towards Dexter and running a tight ship over at Mousesports. Collecting round number 3, Frozen, onto Golden. And now we'll see the buy come out from Fnatic. And, you know, as mentioned, not going to have an operator on Yaquinho, which is a little concerning.
A what? An operator?
Did I say that?
How dare you?
Oh, my
Where do you
goodness.
think you are? That's disgusting.
Listen, man.
You've betrayed your heritage.
All I got to say is, you know what, I'm seeing all these articles all the time about NA players switching to Valorant, but, you know, I just switched back to CS. Where's the press? Where are the news articles, man?
We've got double French gun, no AWP for Fnatic. This is going to be a very weak buy. I hesitate to call it a full buy.
True.
So Mousesports have already got some advantages here. There is some utility for Fnatic. But again, with the weapons they've got, how do they make an aggressive play on a map such as Overpass, a more technical map? We can see Mousesports heading up long for the time being. Bemis entertaining in the tunnel. Ronan, fortunate to escape, but what can Fnatic, even before this round started, I wondered what they could get from this with the tools that they had, and it's gone from bad to worse. I mean, things could potentially swing with the damage that's been done to Mousesports, but they have the trade frag capability. Not that it's required, of course. Crims with a hopeful grenade. This was a very painful buy. Very painful indeed.
All goes back to getting ecoed on round 2, but Yaquinho does answer back with 1. Not out of it yet, and his teammate over at Bank. That's Crims just getting caught out. His knee pokes out just a little too far. Dexter capitalizes on that, finds the headshot onto him, and now a 4-on-1. And as mentioned, all of these players from Mousesports are lit.
Acor must have heard that. Look how Dexter's not even planting the bomb. Looks like they want to win by elimination, but now you have to wonder, 18 seconds, and Dexter's alone on the bomb site. The flank is on the way. Yaquinho just avoiding it for a second. I don't think he realizes where he's potentially getting shot from. Here drops. That was very, very awkward. But, well, it looked awkward. They're probably completely comfortable with it.
Right.
It's like, we know where he is. He's saving nothing. Let's take everything away.
A dicey situation at DICE that pans out from Mousesports.
I will say that shows great confidence in the way they played that round out from Mousesports. So I like it from that perspective.
I mean, Fnatic had the broken buy, and you mentioned what can they do with that buy, and how do they answer
really
back?
Buy, like
Well, it was
really
terrible.
Awful.
You got an MP9, you got an ump, which like already I'm rolling my eyes at, but you opt to go maybe try and get some connector control. You know Mousesports has been abusing the fact that you haven't been in there. But JW was the first to get found out in that prior round, and firing towards Monster doesn't quite land his shot. That's Crims. The damage is done. The pop flash comes through. Almost happens. JW instead falls. No damage dealt. Mousesports still so cautious and disciplined here, just milking whatever utility Fnatic does have to offer in this eco round. And now they'll bring their guns to bear as they press forward.
In they go, Mousesports. They've dealt with these situations well. I can see a flank at the back between Jaquinho and Bemis. But Bemis seems ready for it. There he is. Numbers are falling for Fnatic now. There's still a minute on the clock. Mousesports be very patient with this. Again, it's just target practice.
Oh,
nice tap from Dexter. 10 for 3 is Dexter.
This man is on
11. 4 kills for him in the round. He really is. He's got a lot of heavy output in this series so far.
The highlight reels will be kind to him for this matchup. But I mean, really, I mean, we watched that back, and it really just seemed like Mousesports are just biding their time. They're waiting, and the kills are just coming into their crosshairs.
If you look at Brolan on the HUD at present, he has a smoker flash and an AUG, and that's about it, and no helmet. He spent, I think, 1,500 in the previous round. Doesn't have the cash for like a Molotov or a defuse kit. I feel like maybe it wasn't the best use of the money in that particular round, where you're missing a few things in your first full buy in round number 7, let's say.
Oh, no.
And down goes Crims. JW, though, is making an effort here. We've got a warbang onto gold, and Acor continues his performance from the end of the last game at the beginning of the second one. Oh, dear. They're just fighting for kills at this point, Mousesports. Fighting over some carrion. 4 versus 3, taking the B bomb site with ease. I think if you're a diehard Fnatic fan, this is pretty difficult viewing at the moment. We've got Jaquinho here with the AWP now, 3 versus 4. But it just doesn't seem to be much of a challenge for Mousesports.
Oh my goodness, so easy. And honestly, I mean, it starts with Fnatic comes into this round with a plan. Okay, we're gonna head boost at short. We're gonna try and go for an early pick, perhaps into water. And instead, just on the tightest of timing windows, Mousesports has already abused all of that map control up until sandbags, and there's just no comms whatsoever. I think it was Crims getting caught out at pillar, falling to Acor early on in this round, and so, okay, there's no monster anchor anymore. Nobody's playing close monster. Rops just walks back out. Just takes all of that area near trash up towards the grates, walks all the way up to barrels before he gets a free one, and now it's 6-1. Mousesports easily cracking the defense of Fnatic, and even Dexter, consolation prize on a Brolin, leaving no weapons coming into this round.
I don't know. I don't think we're far enough away to say it's nostalgia, but I miss JW on AWP in a game such as this. I feel like stylistically, I mean, I know maybe it felt a bit long and the tooth and change was needed, but again, it's such a big part of the identity of Fnatic, and I feel like it's missing in a stylistic matchup such as this, where that kind of flair could really go a long way. Because
you would normally see, you know, if this is a few years past, JW bunny hopping into short with the op, getting an early frag, falling back. You know, that is what I think you're getting at. And yeah, I think it's easy to miss that as a Fnatic fan.
Yeah. And even if he's going to primarily rifle, there would be times where, if you look at that classic C9 squad of Skididal and Stewie and so on, there'll be times where like Stewie would pick up a second AWP and just bring the extra gear in, which is something I like to refer to a lot. Not normally with Fnatic, but
sure.
JW could also be in that position for Fnatic if he's not going to primarily snipe. Be primary sniper.
Yeah, I mean, having that capability in your pocket as a team can be huge, but he doesn't utilize it. You know, maybe that's a confidence thing. Maybe it's just, yeah, he wants to play the game. But pop flash yields nothing. Rops gets a free one, bailed out by Dexter for the second. And Fnatic again on an eco round, unable to yield any early results.
It's really interesting in terms of confidence. So, oh, hold on a second. Jaquinho with the Desert Eagle. looking for a third. Has he got the sound cues here for Acor? Maybe. They're pretty close on the radar, but it doesn't look like he heard anything there. You can see Crims is making his way up. Rops is still outside Monster at present, and he could go on a fact-finding mission. Acor looking, but oh, he's been seen. That's the bomb as well on the radar. They know where the bomb is, but where are the other two? Acor just spidey sense, goes back to the well and takes all the water, leaving nothing for the mouths of Fnatic.
45 seconds left. Bomb's over at long bathroom, but Rops is going to get the info here in the coming seconds that there's nobody home at B.
Surely they wait for Rops to go up, because how do they safely rotate the bomb towards B? I think that's dangerous in itself, but
he's going to have to flame through CT. No other choice.
Oh my god, this is the kind of round which can just collapse. I think he's got to bolt and make a break for it. Acor, he's missed his shot, getting tagged with the deagle now. He's got to run for it. He can't mess around. He's actually going back towards the A bomb site. Rops is on the way up, but surely the bomb gets dropped. Acor, patient play. The smoke is up, and they got to find this last man in Broland, but he's in the toilets. It will be planted for CT. And there's more to say in this round now. 2 headshots required. Well, 1 really. Rops is on 26 HP. They don't know where Broland's coming from, but it's probably this direction considering Rops' position. They both fall off the site completely. There's no way he's got a defuse kit, surely. I'm probably thinking smoke is up. There'll be an instant peek, a tag. Just waiting for a bank peek. Got to move away from the HE grenade. Barely alive now, and I think he's got to collect a rifle and run away tail between legs.
Yeah. Was looking promising for a moment there after those 1Ds from Yaquinho, but a long way to go before you see a Fnatic come back in this half. And
we're looking at scraps here.
Yeah.
In rounds such as that. Now they've got 5,500 per person. We can see a proper full buy with no shortages on this occasion.
I'm really impressed with Mousesports' just control on these anti-ecos. It's definitely a word I would use, but also just their presence of mind to know when they're going to be facing those pop flash peaks. And it you know, several times now we've seen, okay, maybe your first point man does get blinded back, but you've got somebody right there behind them to trade it back out, and a lot of the times it doesn't even seem to need to come to that point. Mousesports 7-1 Fnatic still reeling, but in a gun round here. The short control actually might spice things up. JW may have spotted some feet.
A change of pace from Mousesports, just as Fnatic are getting comfortable with a full buy. They'll go straight into the B bomb site. Rops looking for that trade frag. JW behind the sandbags, but he will get deleted, forced away by flames, and it just goes from bad to worse for Fnatic. Can't catch a break. Mousesports keeping him on their toes, not allowing any sense of comfort for Fnatic. Golden trying to stop the bomb plant, but he can't. 4 versus 2 made 3 by Yaquinho. They can't keep saving here, Fnatic. They're 6 rounds behind on their CT side. A flashbang from Golden. The barrel's been spotted by Beamers. He's got a superior angle now. Down he goes. Plenty of headshots to be deployed by Mousesports. Golden now 1v2. Eats a flashbang. No kit for him. 2 for 7. Worst hand in poker. And it's a really bad situation here as well.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, the situation is desperate at this point. You're about to go down 1-8. On CT side of Overpass. And, I mean, obviously that's not a good score line. It's not something that you can even hunt any positives from. But the scary thing is I mean, we're flipping through these Fnatic POVs and we're missing some sprays. Shots are not necessarily landing when they should. And it's costing some of these trades in a big way where, you know, Mousesports, who are, in contrast, so disciplined and so rock solid in their ability to fall one after another through a bomb site, trading each and every one of them out. And it almost seems effortless at that point after you've claimed the site, put the bomb down, and any kind of retake attempt at a Fnatic has just been foiled. Frequently, we've seen Golden in these situations to clutch, and you know, maybe you'd prefer to save a weapon if you had a more even score line, but you need to win some of these somehow.
Overflowing with money are Mousesports. On the cusp of losing money by winning rounds. Rops was just shy of $16,000 at the beginning of this round. 8 rounds in a row. Fnatic won the pistol, got deleted by pistols the round afterwards, and it's just been worse and worse since then. Constantly taken off guard. A quick peek, as we can see Mousesports looking to enter into the B-bomb site once again, and Crims wasn't expecting that. Just trying to jump past with his knife out, and this one will be a wipeout, it looks like. Indeed it will be. Jiquinho in the clutch again, looking for the ace. 40% of the way there, but that's it. Very brief round.
Yeah, and they did invest some into that round, but gonna have a bye here for Fnatic. But honestly, I mean, I can't tell whether or not it's how clean Mousesports look or if Fnatic just look like a mess. Crims there B-hopping out, you know, forfeiting his life very quickly. Rob setting up with 2 free kills, essentially. And it's not as though it's one player or another that's making these small, maybe mental mistakes that are costing the gunfights for Fnatic, but you know, if it's happening this often and this consistently, where Mousesports are seemingly walking into success. A little concerned for Fnatic, but Crims, a bold push off a pop flash through Monster. And that's some anxiously, well, I'd say quickly given map control for Rops. He knows what's going on, doesn't want to yield any early frags for Fnatic.
So much risk taken by Fnatic to try and get an edge. They've got map control at least for the time being, but we'll see if they hold on to it later, because Rops is the man who's lurking, and that's never what you want if you're the opponent. Seems that Mousesports are somewhat offended by Crims' brazen play through Monster, as 3 men now head towards B.
They took our TV, we're taking it back. They've got our fridge.
With interest. Jiquinho, is he good for this angle here? Oh, what happened there? Maybe it's registered through the corner of the wall, but he'll get 2 kills regardless. Well then, finally a strong situation for Fnatic, a 5 versus 3.
Crims the sole defender on B, and there's a timing window now for Mousesports if they want to take it. They have no way of knowing this, of course, but whether or not they can beat the clock and timing here onto the B site.
They've got a call to rotate now, surely. 23 seconds. JW's looking towards long, and Crims is still alone on the B bomb site. Surely this is enough information. Well, it'll be a 4 versus 2 at the very least. 15 seconds to plant this bomb. There'll be people upstairs soon. Smoke up on the site. They've got to make it there and start this process. JW making his way from connector into the water. Acor goes. Yeah, Flashpoint on the balcony. They're in a really bad situation here. They're exposed by multiple angles. There'll be a swing. They're lining up, though. Will there be a trade frag? Acor just around the corner inside. The spray from Golden. And Jiquinho with the last. Fnatic double their score towards the end of the first half.
There's a world in which they line up for Acor there, and he collects 2, but doesn't quite happen. I love the aggression, and recognizing you're in a 2v4. You got to make something happen. Get an early frag, reposition if you can. Valiant effort. But Fnatic get their second. And it started off even shaky for Jiquinho, who really is the reason why they win this round. But we've seen him with the Deagle in hand, with an op now, putting his team on his back for a round win.
We're just lacking frags here. Brolan with 2 frags. JW 3 kills. Golden with 3 kills.
Just not enough.
Round number 12. Getting dominated by Mousesports at present, who have the luxury of the AKs, of course, and the trade frag game. They're playing it to a T. Very fast into short B on this occasion. A lot of harassment towards the B bomb sites in general. You can see Jiquinho just hanging around the toilets at present. 3 players still towards B4 Fnatic, but can they deal with these charges? Look at Beamers heading in there, looking for the sentry. Brosen just wiping out the B bomb site. Complete brutality. It's like Mortal Kombat.
It can't be understated how much difficulty Fnatic has had at B just stopping these Mousesports pushes, and a beautiful play call. You know, understanding, okay, Fnatic have adjusted a few different times towards Monster. Gonna go ahead and pop flash up short then. And JW, this is this double op that, you know, you just spoke of a few rounds prior. And unfortunately, there's just nothing to be peaked or had for Fnatic. And they're gonna yield a 10th round here to Mousesports, and it's, I mean, I describe it as desperate perhaps. But it's a little bit more than that even at this point.
Takes to 16 for 7 now. Turrets on wheels are this Mousesports squad.
A lot of aimers.
Yeah, looking like a very, very dangerous team indeed. 6 rounds away from a very dominant victory. Mousesports haven't seen much hope for Fnatic on this CT half at least. The double ops continue. They'll buy rifles around them. Credit to Mousesports though, they just haven't given Fnatic any breathing space with which to even make an aggressive play.
Yeah, I think the one round where you could maybe a good answer came out of Fnatic. They've opted for short control a few times, but Crim's pushing through Monster to kind of seal that side of the map off. I mean, you know, they just walked away and gave it right back up. So in hindsight, maybe that wasn't even worth it at the time.
That target selection from Frozen was beautiful.
It was impressive. Just knowing.
It would be easier, I think, to aim at the guy who was more in the open, but it just stops that CT from getting around the corner and then just spreads the jam, the Crimson, over to the second one. Beautiful.
Yeah, I'd say if you compared just the prowess and mechanics of some of these players on Mousesports to the way that Fnatic's playing at present form, I mean, it's a no-brainer that the scoreline is this way. It's every time we're spectating somebody on Mouse, John, is to be had. But also, I'm unconvinced that Fnatic even have a way, you know, maybe steal around a way, but they've had no answer for this long or short B control at any point throughout this game, and Frozen already getting the first one. Golden does answer back with a nice wide swing headshot onto him.
What Mousesports are saying right now is, give us a reason not to do this, and Fnatic have struggled to provide that.
Okay.
Maybe they could finally do it now in round number 13, but the kills go either way. 3 on 3 now, minute 15 on the clock. Rops is lurking, and Acor's also lurking around the A bomb site. And if Yakinio starts to jump peek from behind default, there could be more problems here for Fnatic.
And I think, you know, this is probably the closest round on a gun round that we've had so far in this game. 3's all. Back towards A. Front bathrooms, you know, we already see Acor up there, posted and ready for his teammates to arrive on the scene, but, you know, Fnatic have no information on the map, and despite the fact that Yakinio is here with the op at truck, he's going to have an execute in his hands that will require some reinforcements that'll take some time to get there. So buying some time, dropping a smoke at his feet. 28 seconds left on the clock, so Mousesports will be pressed to push in. Rops finds, you know, that op from Yakinio quickly, but Acor does trade it back out. Now it's a 2-on-2, 20 seconds remain.
Bomb planted by the truck. Both T's on the site now as Brolan just flies to his doom. Launched from a cannon, it seems, leaving Golden in a 1 versus 2. Maybe trying to stop the T's from getting into strong positions, but life only gets worse for Fnatic, it seems, on this CT side of Vertigo. Overpass. There it is, another kill from Acor. 12 for 4 is Acor. 11 for 2 Mousesports versus Fnatic. They continue to get consecutive rounds after a late single defuse round from Fnatic. 2 rounds left in the half now, and perhaps not much hope for Fnatic at this point.
JW just getting caught standing in the middle of nowhere on B. I mean, how many times have we seen Mousesports just fly up to sandbags, take that initial peek? And, you know, even if it's not sandbags, it's Monster, and those threats are not going away, clearly. I like the reaction from Fnatic there. They flash back into short. I mean, it's not even the double stack of nades on a Golden. He's down to 1 HP already in this round.
Cluster bombs.
Yeah.
Playing Worms.
Getting nuked. Man, Worms. Haven't played that game in a minute.
4 players for Fnatic on the B bomb site. With a minute 10 on the clock, and Mousesports will change the pace of the game late on here in this first half. Mousesports quietly moving away, leaving Rops in situ. With JW around the short B position, we'll see if the formation changes for Fnatic as well. They are lacking information towards A. They've got Yakinio on the AWP there. That's about it.
Roland's going to catch timing here, though. They think this is clear. They think nobody could be here, and instead he finds 2. The bomb goes down. Dexter and Acor fall, and now it's a 5-on-3. First 2-man advantage, perhaps all half for Fnatic.
Oh, JW caught sleeping there. Absolutely zero response with Rops jiggling. Great presence of mind from Rob. Spatial awareness. Knows that there's probably some kind of backup. And bait situation, essentially, it turns into. And he punishes that. Not sure what JW was doing there. 20 seconds though to plant this bomb. This could be a crucial round for Fnatic. Yakinio gifted one. The bomb's on the floor. Looking for the flick here. Just needs to delay a little bit longer. He's got Golden here for a brief time. 10 seconds on the clock now, and the A bomb site has been claimed once again. Is there time to plant this bomb though? I think there will be. Default plant coming through. HE from Crims will make it even better for Fnatic. 2 versus 1 now, but where is Rops? He's alone in the clutch. He knows where 1 is. Brolan coming in from long. Oh, not sure where he's getting shot from, but he can't quite hit the mark there. So finally, a desperate 3rd round for Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, things started off abysmal too. I think Mousesports had a fantastic read. Okay, we've abused the B site, you know, every single round of this half pretty much. What can Fnatic throw back at us? Maybe a double stack head boost. So they double nade Golden down to 1 HP at the sandbags. And, you know, at that point, Mousesports just reset back towards A. They have full bathrooms control, and it's Brawl and the knife in the back here from the top of Connector that really caught both those players unawares. And Fnatic, you know, as stated, finally put themselves in a situation to have a 2-man advantage. They do steal the round away, and last round of the half, Mousesports, you know, probably are very unconcerned about the results of the prior round because you've got 11 in hand, and Fnatic are still desperate at this point.
Bomb site smokes for B. Everyone knows that one. Mousesports is suggesting another fast push into the B bomb site. And this will drop Brolan all the way down long as well because they've done it so many times. Why wouldn't they do it in the last round? However, we can see the bomb moving past the party area. Dexter showing some presence towards B, starting to creep in now. Committing beyond the Molotov, and they're waiting for more. Brolan has no idea how many players are ahead, and Mousesports have to be quiet here because footsteps here will be heard from the B bomb site. We can hear Crims on the potential rotation as they wonder. They still have Rops towards B to try and solve something. Yakinio going to be blind, but land a shot onto Frozen. They need that rotation now. Brolan could be crucial here. Looking for more on the A bomb site though. Still alone, and down goes Beamers. This could be a much needed 4th round for Fnatic. 5 versus 2 for them. Acor in no man's land trying to bait the shot. The crouch peek will be enough. He's got more to do though, and there's more onto Crims. 1 more towards Bank. There are 40 seconds for Mousesports to turn this around. Rops is on the way from Connector. Brolan towards long now. Things will slow down for a time. Bomb plant pressure is rising though, on top of default at the moment. That's very awkward indeed. It may give him an angle, you never know. There is the flank from Brolan, eliminated by Rops, and the dream is collapsing for Fnatic. They had so many players alive.
No way.
Stereo frags from Mousesports, 12-3. A monstrous half again, this time on Overpass. Just no break for Fnatic. Is there anything left in the Swedish dog? Find out after the break. That's depressing.
Dude, JW on like 2 kills right now? 4, some shit like that.
Is that Well then. Well then, well then. A very difficult game of Overpass for Fnatic. This map used to be a signature map for them once upon a time on that CT side, but there was no sign of that earlier on. Not today.
An absolute Fnatic fiasco, man. Honestly, even the rounds that they were getting an advantage just seemingly squandered too many times.
Yeah, looks like lost identity to me. Well, they start on the T side with 3 rounds on the board. Still doable, not looking likely, but never over until it's over. We can see Dexter, 16 for 10, will be the man with a smoke and a diffuse kit. Kevlar for the most part. Acor hasn't bought yet. I like to eco on a CT pistol round. So no matter what, I have an AWP on the 3rd round.
Would you just not buy anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I eco. I wouldn't recommend that for professionals, but I am a unicorn, let's be honest.
Hey, whatever works for you, man.
On T side, though, I've got to get that P250, you know. I'm the leader of the P250 crew.
Are you the kind of guy who asks a teammate for a P250 and then buys armor, or?
I have no faith in my teammates. I just buy P250.
Fair.
Go. And maybe a smoke, depending on the map. Fnatic will have nothing but Glocks as they head towards the B bomb site. Close range, extra bullets, that is fine.
Fast having smoke and a monster pop to boot.
And in they go, Yaquinho flying to his death, trying to create space for the team, but that space is just no good, is it? 4 versus 2. Look at the patience and the shots. There is no give from Mousesports. They are merciless.
Man, just tapping heads at pillar. Just realized Acor is Roka backwards, and that just looked like the NA aimer himself, but Acor just really in the right place at the right time, frankly. I'll take those. Nice shots and a flawless round there for Mousesports and Fnatic. I mean, you got to buy back into this round and hope for something.
Hey, sometimes your opponent is just having a good day.
True. Thanks, CSGO.
Four Deagles on road.
Ouch.
There will be Mousesports drills in connector. Footsteps heard up top.
President doesn't even need to move here, just understanding, okay, they're probably going to reset. Short's clear. Let's rotate back towards A because that's where the play is going.
Man, this is so rough. Like, this is an important tournament for Fnatic, you know?
Yeah.
How do they turn things around should they lose this? They don't have much time to do that.
Free M4, though.
Yeah, onto the site now as well. Lost 3 of the 4 pistols in this series so far. Bomb plant's been denied. Beamer's in a 1v2. If that bomb plant is committed to, he's got a 1v1 for a brief time. Able to sneak out. Smokes dissipating, looking for the trade fragger. Little awkward for him. And Fnatic gets a stroke of luck. Again, on the previous map, I feel like most of their rounds were won in a similar fashion with pistols, some kind of half-buy or force-buy. And that seems to be true here as well.
Yeah, and I know the analyst desk was talking about it quite a bit, just their ability to group and trade frags. I think that's almost, especially when you've got players with such experience and a caliber that, you know, we would describe them as, you know, some of the best to ever do it. You know, those things come naturally, and I think the team really, without any kind of strategic depth that needs a lot to think about, or talk about for that matter, you know, they do that well. They're pressing forward, they know what space needs to be taken, and they know how to trade frags, and it comes out quickly for them. With some Deagles and Tech 9s in hand, but to speak of any kind of prowess on the T side would imply that they're doing any of that on gun rounds, and it's just frankly hasn't been here in this series. So 13-4, the deficit's still so deep for Fnatic, but having the weapon advantage here may pay off. But Acor, other plans, funding face of Brolin with the scout. Funding for more at Fountain, does get the damage out, but doesn't find the frag. That's Yaquinho accepting one into his shoulder. And this gets a little bit more dangerous just because of that tag for Fnatic. So any kind of bathroom control, you know, you don't want to walk directly into a crossfire with pistols, especially with a weakened Yaquinho.
You can see that Rops has cleared all of B.
Oh.
So as long as they can try and play time to their favor and stay alive, just make Fnatic edge forward slowly. That's one way to do it. The bomb getting... Oh, he was so close to the crosshair as well. 3 on 3, 35 seconds to head towards the safe bomb site. You can see Beamer's trying to close the distance now, and there are more Deagle shots. Man, this is depressing to watch from a Fnatic point of view. There's a trade. JW now 1 versus 2. 25 seconds to plant this bomb. Gets a gun upgrade. But Robs is creeping, and surely he gets a clean angle. Dexter. Oh, God, there it is.
Oh, my goodness. This whole round is a pacing issue for me. You've basically yielded all this map control, and as you pointed out, Robs has walked through all the way to T-spawn. You know, Fnatic, okay, you've been found out. You know that there's players in bathrooms. You know, the op tempo needs to be pressed, that before that timing window closes, you need to be on site planting the bomb, regardless of what the numbers are, and instead, Mousesports just slowly envelop them one after another. Long bathrooms never gets really cleared out. And when it finally does, you know, the rotation's already there. Acor long range, finding a 1D. Dexter finds another. Beautiful eco from them, but Fnatic, it just seems like they're already out of it at this point mentally. Just kind of allowing things to happen to them.
Yeah, they have been victimized on a regular basis in this series. Keeping the numbers together now with the hero AK-47. This is a full buy from Fnatic, as difficult as it is.
Yeah, and what can you do? I mean, you've gotten short control at least, so you know there's not an overwhelming presence of aggression coming out from Mousesports at B. You could count that as a win, maybe. And what that will allow you to do is, at least if you take Bathrooms control here, you can fall back to B if that's something you decide to do. But I think a lot of that will hinge on whether or not Brawlin takes a peek, finds a frag. He does not. Frozen gets the better of him despite being full blind himself. Dexter actually does get the end of a Crim's 1D, get barrels. So 4's all as 40 seconds remain on the clock.
Yeah, it's just so dry though. It's just so arid an environment. Caught with a grenade. How is he still alive? Yakinio.
Yikes.
Oh dear. There we go. Finally finished off. One more to find though, and he won't be able to do that. There's information for Frozen, and Robs again is just creeping, just lurking, just waiting to become a problem for Fnatic. He's got some help to his left as well. The trade frag is instant, and that is going to be match point and plenty of them for Mousesports.
Yeah, this may have been GG for a little while now, but certainly Fnatic investing as much as they did into this round. And for as poor as they've looked on Overpass, I mean, this is kind of what we expected going into this map. It's Mousesports' pick. And it's not as though Fnatic's been doling out wins and officials on this map. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen them, and well, this is what they've come up with. Unfortunately for them, it's resulted in a 15-4 score line with very little left in the bank here in the dying moments of this game, this series.
The Krieg comes out for Brolan.
Hero Krieg, maybe?
More or less, yeah. I don't know what Crims can do with the Mac 10 here. How he closes the distance to use that, maybe short B or something. Even connector could be a problem until he gets to the other side of it. A bunch of pistols. I mean, how do you strategize for a round such as this? A scout.
Acor already playing spoiler to whatever Golden has come up with, pushed into playground, M4 in hand, and the information's there at least. But yeah, he's basically just walked up, found an opening, and he will be punished for his presence. And that Mac 10 comes into play.
Mousesports are looking awesome at the moment. Maybe not the strongest opponent today, but they have capitalized on their advantages in exceptional fashion, I think it's fair to say. And that has to be recognized.
Absolutely, and I think it just makes me even more excited to see them throughout the rest of this tournament. You know, as they face progressively more challenging opponents, and you know, not as though Fnatic isn't a challenge, but on this map, it's tough to describe it as anything but a walk in the park for Mousesports as they leave that playground back towards B. But they have been exceptional in both maps, both in their control and their discipline and handling of all types of rounds here. Map 2 surely about to close. 20 seconds left on the clock, though, and Bemis plays beautiful spray control to find 2. And they need to put the bomb down now.
Into the crossfire they go, and it's over almost as fast as it began. 16-4 for Mousesports, a one-sided affair from start to finish in this series. I don't think they were ever in danger, Mousesports.
No.
On either of the maps.
You know, at some point, maybe first half of Inferno was a 9-6 scoreline. You could maybe say that that was a decent job by Fnatic, but ultimately, I mean, I think a lot of the round wins there came off of mistakes. And, you know, Overpass was a clean affair here for Mousesports, and it was impressive to watch from start to finish.
Yeah, that was